الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أما بعد، فقد قال أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام في خطبة له: ألا وإنكم قد نفضتم أيديكم من حبل الطاعة وثلمتم حصن الله المضروب عليكم بأحكام الجاهلية، وإن الله سبحانه قد امتن على جماعة هذه الأمة فيما عقد بينهم من حبل هذه الألفة التي ينتقلون في ظلها ويأوون إلى كنفها بنعمة لا يعرف أحد من المخلوقين لها قيمة، لأنها أرجح من كل ثمن وأجل من كل خطر. واعلموا أنكم صرتم بعد الهجرة أعرابا وبعد الموالاة أحزابا، ما تتعلقون من الإسلام إلا باسمه، ولا تعرفون من الإيمان إلا رسمه. تقولون النار ولا العار، كأنكم تريدون أن تكفئوا الإسلام على وجهه انتهاكا لحريمه ونقضا لميثاقه الذي وضعه الله لكم حرما في أرضه وأمنا بين خلقه. وإنكم إن لجأتم إلى غيره حاربكم أهل الكفر، ثم لا جبرائيل ولا ميكائيل ولا مهاجرون ولا أنصار ينصرونكم إلا المقارعة بالسيف حتى يحكم الله بينكم. وإن عندكم الأمثال من بأس الله وقوارعه وأيامه ووقائعه، فلا تستبطئوا وعيده جهلا بأخذه وتهاونا ببطشه ويأسا من بأسه، فإن الله سبحانه لم يلعن القرن الماضي بين أيديكم إلا لتركهم الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر، فلعن الله السفهاء لركوب المعاصي والحلماء لترك التناهي. ألا وقد قطعتم قيد الإسلام وعطلتم حدوده وأمدتم أحكامه. ألا وقد أمرني الله بقتال أهل البغي والنكث والفساد في الأرض، فأما الناكثون فقد قاتلت، وأما القاسطون فقد جاهدت، وأما المارقة فقد دوخت، وأما شيطان الردهة فقد كفيته بصعقة سمعت لها وجبة قلبه ورجة صدره. وبقيت بقية من أهل البغي، ولئن أذن الله في الكرة عليهم لأديلن منهم إلا ما يتشذر في أطراف البلاد تشذرا. أنا وضعت في الصغر بكلاكل العرب، وكسرت نواجم قرون ربيعة ومضر، وقد علمتم موضعي من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله بالقرابة القريبة والمنزلة الخصيصة، وضعني في حجره وأنا وليد يضمني إلى صدره ويكنفني في فراشه ويمسني جسدا ويشمني عرفا وكان يمضغ الشيء ثم يلقمنيه وما وجد لي كذبة في قول ولا خطلة في فعل ولقد قرن الله به صلى الله عليه وآله من لدن أن كان فطيما أعظم ملك من ملائكته يسلك به طريق المكارم ومحاسن أخلاق العالم ليله ونهاره ولقد كنت أتبعه اتباع الفصيل أثر أمه يرفع لي في كل يوم من أخلاقه علما ويأمرني بالاقتداء به ولقد كان يجاور في كل سنة بحراء فأراه ولا يراه غيري ولم يجمع بيت واحد يومئذ في الإسلام غير رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وخديجة وأنا ثالثهما أرى نور الوحي والرسالة وأشم ريح النبوة ولقد سمعت رنة الشيطان حين نزل الوحي عليه صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت يا رسول الله ما هذه الرنة فقال هذا الشيطان قد أيس من عبادته إنك تسمع ما أسمع وترى ما أرى إلا أنك لست بنبي ولكنك لوزير وإنك لعلى خير صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Our discussion on Al-Khutbatul Qasi'ah is slowly approaching its end. This is the penultimate part that we will be discussing today, and inshallah tomorrow night will be the final part of this blessed khutbah. A very beautiful khutbah. And tonight we have combined the two parts, having missed the session yesterday. And these two parts can be summarized into 5 important points. Point number 1 is where Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi where he says that unity is a very important element, as he has mentioned earlier. And he says when unity is valued, it is something priceless. You don't know the value of unity until you lose it. And he is telling the people of Kufa, those people whom he is addressing directly, that it is because you do not value unity that your state is as it is today. You have gone back to the Jahili ways, and now you are shouting the slogan of Jahiliyyah. One of the slogans of Jahiliyyah was An-nar wal-ar. We are ready to accept the fire of hell, but we will not submit. Our honor is more important for us. Our tribal practices are more important for us. So if you are threatening us with the fire, An-nar wal-ar, we'll take the fire, but we will not take submission. So the Imam is saying you have started going back to these kinds of practices. Why? Because you lost your unity. And then the second point in the summary is that the Imam is saying that if you look at the past nations and learn from them, you will find that the reason for their downfall was that they stopped the very important practice of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. This is the practice that when they stopped, then the adhab of Allah Azza wa Jal came upon them. And you have stopped this practice. So now you should realize that you too will soon face your downfall. So the Imam alayhi salam, this is the only part in this khutbah where he mentions Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. And he mentions it not once but twice, emphasizing the importance of this practice. And we know that in Islam it is wajib to do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. So this was the second point. The third point is that the Imam now starts talking about himself. He says that I have been commanded by Allah to fight the rebels. لَقَدْ أَمَرَنِيَ اللَّهُ بِقِتَالِ أَهْلِ الْبَغْيِ وَالنَّكْثِ وَالْفَسَادِ فِي الْأَرْضِ. There are three groups that I have been commanded by Allah to fight. And of course we know these three groups that are being addressed are the nakithin, the oath breakers, the qasitin, the oppressors, and the mariqin, those who transgress, the transgressors. And of course when we are talking about these three groups, just as a reminder, we know that the nakithin, the oath breakers, are the ones that Imam alayhi salam fought in the battle of Jamal. In the battle of Jamal, the Imam fought against those who had broken their pledge of allegiance to him, including individuals like Talha and Zubair and many others. And so they came to fight against the Imam. The Imam fought against them. The beautiful thing is the Imam is saying here, لَقَدْ أَمَرَنِيَ اللَّهُ بِقِتَالِ هَؤُلَاءِ. That means Allah has commanded me to fight these groups. It is not out of my own quest to hold on to power. Rather, there is a very beautiful hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, which has been narrated by Sunni sources and Shia sources, where the Prophet told the Imam that during your rule you will have to fight these three groups. So these are the nakithin. What about the qasitin, the oppressors? These were the ones that the Imam fought in the battle of Siffin. Muawiyah and his cronies and his minions, his soldiers, these were the qasitin. They were oppressors. Why? Because they, by coming out against the ruling government, that legitimate khalifa, they are committing oppression. So they are qasitin. And the third group are the mariqin, the transgressors. These were the khawarij, those whom the Imam fought in the battle of Nahrawan. So these are the three groups. So the Imam mentions in this part of the khutbah that Allah commanded me to fight against these three groups. So this is what I did. Then the fourth point in the summary of this part of the khutbah is that the Imam alayhi salam now starts talking about himself. And he says, do you know the closest person to Rasulullah was me? Do you know that Rasulullah, when I was still a young boy, he adopted me and he brought me to his house. He would make me sleep on his chest. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I would smell his fragrance. This is his description. Imam is describing himself. I would smell his fragrance. When Rasulullah would eat, he would chew the food and then put it in my mouth. Allahu Akbar. Then he says, look at the qaraba, look at the closeness to Rasulullah. If any of these three groups who are challenging me, or any of you Ahl al-Kufa, think that there is anyone closer to the Prophet than me, then you are mistaken. I am the closest to Rasulullah. And so he describes this very beautifully. And the final point in the summary of this part of the khutbah, he says that I used to go with the Prophet to Hira. When nobody was with the Prophet, he was alone. I was there. Maybe he was not there inside the cave with the Prophet, but he was close by. And so he says that when the wahi came, I heard the cry of shaitan. Because we are told that when wahi came to the Prophet for the first time, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Shaitan cried and he let out such a loud cry. But who can hear the cry of shaitan? The Prophet can hear. But Imam said, even I heard the cry. So I asked the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, what is this cry? So the Prophet said, إِنَّكَ تَسْمَعْ مَا أَسْمَعْ وَتَرَى مَا أَرَى. O Ali, you can hear what I hear and you can see what I see. This is the status of Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam. So this is the summary of this section of the khutbah. Now we want to get into the discussion. So the first thing that the Imam says is, the first point that he mentions is, because now you have gone back into the Jahiliyyah stage, you are practicing Islam only as a ritual. He mentions just as a rasm, just as an outward portrayal of Islam, without any understanding. Why? Because your hearts have gone back to the Jahili state that it was before. So we want to talk a little bit about the importance of practicing Islam with understanding, rather than just as a ritual practice. Not a ritualistic practice of Islam, rather a practice with understanding. There is a very beautiful hadith from our sixth Imam, Imam Jaffer al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, in which he says that at the time of the Bani Israel there was an abid. And that abid used to, and this hadith is in Al-Kafi, one of our very well-known books. That abid, he would perform so much ibadah that the angels in the heavens, when they would look down at that abid, they would be impressed. So one angel asks Allah Azza wa Jal, Ya Allah, can you show me how much thawab this abid is getting? So much ibadah, mashallah. And so Allah Azza wa Jal shows him. But the angel sees that this is very little thawab. So he says, Ya Allah, so much ibadah, so little thawab. How is this fair? Where is the justice? So Allah tells the angel, if you want to understand, go down and sit with this abid for some time. And so the angel goes down in the form of a human being and he sits down with the abid. He says, can I join you? Can we do ibadah together? The abid says, yes, why not? So for some time, for a few days, they do ibadah. They are deeply engrossed in their ibadah. And then the abid strikes up a conversation with this angel. He doesn't know he's an angel. The angel says, mashallah, taqabbal Allah amalakum, and everybody, mashallah, good ibadah. And then the angel says, look at this scenery here. It's so scenic. It's a lush green meadow and there are beautiful trees and very nice cool breeze is coming. Isn't it such a nice scene here nearby? And so that abid says, yes, but there's only one problem. He says, what is the problem? He says, you see all this grass that is growing here? If Allah had a donkey, at least this grass would not go to waste. He would send the donkey to eat the grass. Then Allah tells the angel. Now when the angel hears this, all that impression that he had about this abid, it all disappears. Then Allah tells this angel, إِنَّمَا أُوثِيبُهُ عَلَى قَدْرِ عَقْلِهِ. I give him thawab based on the level of his aql, on the level of his understanding. When you do ibadah with understanding and ma'rifah and intelligence, it's a different ibadah. Then it's not a matter of quantity, it's a matter of quality. And that is why when a man from the desert comes to meet Rasulullah Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, teach me Quran. So the Prophet says, he starts teaching him some verses of the Quran. He reaches Surah Al-Zilzal or Zalzala. And the last two verses, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. When this desert Arab hears these two verses, he says, Ya Rasulullah, these two verses are enough for me. And then he goes. Once he has left, the Prophet addresses his ashab and he says, إِنْ صَرَفَ الرَّجُلُ وَهُوَ فَقِيهٌ. The man has left while he is now a faqih. He's a learned man. 2 ayat of Quran can make you learned. So quality is so important. And that is why when you do ibadah, don't do it as a ritual. Do it with understanding. If you do it with ma'rifah, then quantity is not the main thing. If you have ma'rifah, that is what uplifts your ibadah. And of course, this is something we see even in day-to-day life. Those who have aql and those who have understanding and intellect and wisdom, their behavior is very different from those who don't. There was a man who had a slave, a very, very lazy slave. And it is said that he sent his slave one day to go and get from the market figs and grapes. Okay? Anjeer and angur. Right? So the slave goes and he takes so long, lazy man. And he comes back after so long and the master is waiting for him and he says, and he sees instead of bringing both the things, he brought only one. He says, firstly you took so long and then you brought only one. Your punishment is that from now on, when I send you to get one thing, you have to bring two. That is your punishment from now. One day, the master falls sick. He tells his slave, go and bring the doctor. The slave goes, he comes back with two people. He says, La ilaha illallah, I sent you to get the doctor, you brought two people. The slave said, yes, I brought the doctor and the grave digger. If you get well, mashallah, if not, there's somebody to bury you. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So the first point, don't practice religion as a ritual. Let us practice it with understanding. That is what we get from this part of the khutbah. The second point, the importance of amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar. We know this just as a reminder. I say, why is it important? Why is amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar important? It is because we are a community, we are one unit. Imagine that we are all in a boat in the middle of the ocean. If we don't practice amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar, one person starts drilling a hole in the boat, right on his side of the boat. You are sitting on the other side. If you say, no, that doesn't concern me, it's his side of the boat, what will happen? When the boat sinks, you will sink with it. That is why amr bil ma'roof is so important. Somebody is doing something wrong in the community, do not say, oh, that is his problem. No. It is like when you are climbing a mountain, one of those high peaks, and you tie a rope. You are 5-6 people, each of you have tied a rope to one another. You will make sure everybody climbs up, because if one person falls, all of you fall. That is the case with amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar. And we know that this world is darul ikhtilat, is a place of mixture. Nobody is ma'soom, except for the ma'soomin alayhimus salam. Amongst us, there is nobody ma'soom. We all have our faults. So we need to support one another to remove our faults. Of course, this does not mean that now we start looking for the faults of one another. Amr bil ma'roof karuche. Let me see, whom can I target? Not like that. Amr bil ma'roof, when you come to know of the fault, don't look for the faults. In fact, there is a beautiful hadith that says, طُوبَى لِمَنْ شَغَلَهُ عَيْبُهُ عَنْ عُيُوبِ النَّاسِ. Blessed is the one whose own fault keeps him too busy to worry about other people's faults. So don't go looking for the faults of others. But if you come to know of somebody's fault, then you come and try and help them to remove that fault from themselves. If you see somebody is doing something wrong, you advise them. So this is the importance of amr bil ma'roof. Now, and if you don't do it, there are consequences. If you don't do amr bil ma'roof, there are consequences. The Holy Quran describes it beautifully when it says, لُعِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِن بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَلَى لِسَانِ دَاوُودَ وَعِيسَى بْنِ مَرْيَمَ. Those of the Bani Israel who disbelieved were cursed by who? Dawood alayhi salam and Nabi Isa alayhi salam. Why? Why were they cursed? كَانُوا لَا يَتَنَاهَوْنَ عَنْ مُنْكَرٍ فَعَلُوا. Because they stopped doing nahi anil munkar. When they stopped doing nahi anil munkar, the curse came. The prophets cursed them. Curse comes, adhab comes when you don't do amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar. That is the first consequence. If you look at the riwayat tell us a person who doesn't do amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar kamayyitin bayna al ahya. He's like a dead body living amongst the living people. What does a dead body do? Nothing. If you don't do amr bil ma'roof, you are like a dead body, the riwayat tells us. Another riwayat tells us, if you don't do amr bil ma'roof, you are a sharik of the person who is doing that evil deed. You see somebody doing something evil, you are quiet, it is as if you are his partner in that evil deed. Another riwayat tells us, if you don't do amr bil ma'roof, you have done khiyana to your brother. فَقَدْ خَانَهُ. One who sees his brother doing something wrong and does not advise him, you have done khiyana. You have betrayed your brother. So this is the importance of doing amr bil ma'roof. But amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar has conditions. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. What are the conditions? Sayyid Sistani Hafidhahullah mentions the conditions. He says for it to be wajib, there are certain conditions. Number one, you yourself have to know what is ma'roof and what is munkar. If you yourself don't have the ilm, how will you go and teach others? So condition number one, yourself, you have to have the knowledge of what is ma'roof and what is munkar. Sometimes you'll find somebody coming to advise you, but what they are advising you is actually wrong. What you are doing is right. So the first thing is knowledge. Condition number two, there is a possibility that the person whom you are advising will listen to you. If he's la ubali, that means he doesn't care. You know, even if you advise him or you tell him, he doesn't care. He is not going to listen to you. Then it is not wajib on you to do amr bil ma'roof. But Sayyid Sistani says, ihtiyatan, you should still show your disgust. If you have done something wrong, you show from your face, from your action, the disgust. But if you know that this person will not listen, then it's not wajib to do amr bil ma'roof. So you have yaqeen. No, this is, of course, if there's a possibility, you still have to try. If you say, no, I'm sure he will not listen, then it's not wajib. Number two. Number three, the person has to be in the process of doing something which is wrong, or abandoning something which is a must to do. They must be in the process of it. Not that they did something 2 years ago, now you are going to do amr bil ma'roof. No, no, no. Something that has passed is past. Something that they are doing right now in the process. That is the third condition. Condition number four, the person who is doing this act which needs correction should not have a valid reason for it. Sometimes people have a valid reason. You find somebody drinking a little bit of water in the month of Ramadan. Ya akhi, shahr Ramadan. You're supposed to be fasting. Say, look, I'm not well. That is why. So he has a valid reason. So you need to know that this person doesn't have a valid reason, then it becomes wajib. If he has a valid reason, it's not wajib for you to say anything. In fact, you're not supposed to say anything. And number five, out of the 5 conditions, and probably one of the important ones, is that doing amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar should not pose a threat of harm to yourself, to your respect, or to your property. Here Sayyid Sistani says, walakin, there however is a condition. If the issue that requires amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar is more important than your life and your property and your respect, then it is still wajib on you to do it. So here you have to gauge. He says, now here the person has to see. If it's a small thing, somebody is not doing wudu correctly or like that, fine. You say, if I tell this person is so angry, immediately he'll punch me. So then it's not wajib. But if it is a very big issue, if it's an issue where the whole community is going astray, then even if it poses a threat of danger to your respect, to your property, you have to stand up. It is wajib. So these are the 5 conditions of amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar. Whoever wants to refer can go to the website of Sayyid Sistani hafidhahullah. He has mentioned these 5 conditions. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Now, how do we do amr bil ma'roof and nahi anil munkar? The most important question. How? The first thing you need to realize is you are doing it. What are you doing it for? You are doing it for the betterment of the community. So that has to always be at the back of your mind. The 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, he said, Man wa'adha akhahu sirran faqad zanahu, wa man wa'adahu alaniyatan faqad shanahu. Whoever advises his brother in secret has actually adorned him, has beautified him. And whoever advises his brother in public has actually insulted him. So the first most general principle is you want to do amr bil ma'roof, do it in a way that preserves the respect of the person. Take him to the side, talk to him in a manner that nobody else overhears. And in that way, you will find he will also probably be more ready to listen. But if you shout in front of the people, then even if he wants to change because you have insulted him, he might become defiant and not change. So that's the first thing. To do amr bil ma'roof, the ulama tell us there are marahil, there are stages of amr bil ma'roof and nahy anil munkar. The first stage, which is necessary, is that when you witness a munkar, when you witness something which is wrong, or tarkil ma'roof, or abandoning of a ma'roof, then you have to feel in your heart, in your qalb. There has to be a movement in your heart of unhappiness, of disgust. You are not pleased with that situation because somebody in the community is doing something wrong. So the first marhala is marhalatul qalb. In your heart you have to feel upset. If you are not upset, you have already failed. You have to feel upset. Of course, there is a beautiful hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. He says, "Man shahida amran fakarihahu kana kaman ghaba anhu, wa man ghaba an amrin faradiyahu kana kaman shahidah." He says, one who sees an act taking place which is bad, something bad happens in front of you, and he feels in his heart that he detests what has happened, he feels upset with what has happened, it is as if he was not there, it didn't happen in front of him. Kaman ghaba an, it happened somewhere else. But one who is not even present, it happens somewhere else, something bad happens, and he hears about it and he is pleased with it, it is as if he was there, he participated in it. So that effect of being pleased with an action or upset with an action in the heart is very important. So that's marhala. The first marhala, first stage is in your heart. The second stage of amr bil ma'roof and nahy anil munkar is verbal amr bil ma'roof and nahy anil munkar. You speak. Here also there are two types. One is where you speak gently, and one is where you speak harshly. Let's see an example. We know the very famous example of Imamain al-Hasanain alayhim as-salam when they are young. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. They see an old man performing wudu and it's not correct. They go to him, they say, "Oh uncle, we are not sure about our wudu. Can you see how we are performing and then correct us?" And then they both perform the wudu and they both perform it perfectly, and the man realizes and says, "Thank you so much. You have corrected my wudu." Very politely, very gently. And they did the amr bil ma'roof. But that is polite, very good. That is the first way you have to try. But at times polite does not work. At times it has to be a very harsh, verbal but very harsh. Like what? Like the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam. Sulaiman alayhi salam, quick reminder of his story. Surah An-Naml. One day Sulaiman alayhi salam is checking his birds. وَتَفَقَّدَ الطَّيْرِ فَقَالَ مَا لِيَ لَا أَرَى الْهُدْهُدَ أَمْ كَانَ مِنَ الْغَائِبِينَ. He's checking his birds. All of them would stand in a line and he finds one is missing. How come I don't see Hudhud? Where is he? Is he absent? لَأُعَذِّبَنَّهُ عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا أَوْ لَأَذْبَحَنَّهُ أَوْ لَيَأْتِيَنِّي بِسُلْطَانٍ مُبِينٍ. Either I will give him a very severe punishment, or I will do dhabah, I will slaughter him, or he will come with a very good excuse. One of the three things. After some time, short while, the Quran says, فَمَّكَثَ غَيْرَ بَعِيدٍ. Short time later, Hudhud comes. He says, "Where were you?" He says, "I have got some new information. I know something you don't know." Allahu Akbar. What is it? He says, "I came from a far off land called Sabah. And over there I saw there was a woman reigning and ruling over the people. وَجَدْتُهَا وَقَوْمَهَا يَسْجُدُونَ لِلشَّمْسِ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ." I found her and her people, they were worshipping the sun instead of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Nabi Sulaiman hears everything and he says something very, very interesting. قَالَ سَنَنْظُرْ أَصَدَقْتَ أَمْ كُنْتَ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. We will see if you are speaking the truth or you are a liar. That means birds can also tell lies, huh? We will see, are you truthful or are you speaking a lie, oh Hudhud? Then he writes a letter. He says, now take this letter to this queen. Drop it on her lap and wait and see what happens. The letter goes. It comes on the lap of Bilqis. Bilqis opens the letter. She calls all her advisors. She says, a letter has come to me. Innahu min Sulaiman wa innahu bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allah ta'alu alayya wa atuni muslimin. The letter is from Sulaiman and the letter says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Do not defy me and come in submission to me. Now tell me, is this polite or is this harsh? This is straight for the jugular. Don't defy me, come in submission. At times, polite words don't work. So you need to go the next level, a bit harsher. Second stage is verbal. Past the second stage, verbal doesn't work. Now you go into amal, to action. Action also has levels. First is you try something which is not very bad, not very harsh, not very painful, little painful. Samara was one of the companions of the Prophet who migrated from Mecca. When he comes to Medina, he asks one of the Ansar that, will you allow me to plant a tree in your garden? And the Ansar says, okay. And so he plants a tree. Now the garden of this Ansar, the man who is from Medina, the Ansari, is behind his house. So once he has got permission and he has planted his tree there, Samara would enter the house without knocking, just with the excuse of putting water in his plant and taking fruits or things like that. And so the man went to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, I'm in problems. I try to do good to this man. I gave him permission to plant his tree in my garden. Now he enters my house without knocking. Sometimes my women are not properly dressed. What do I do? So the Prophet called Samara. Samara, I want you to stop this practice. Verbal, huh? Stop doing this. Samara goes. He doesn't stop. He continues. The man comes back to Rasulullah. Ya Rasulullah, you told him but he's not listening. The Prophet says, call him back. He says, Samara, now you are not listening to me. I want to buy this tree from you. Sell it to me. He says, no. I'll give you 10 trees. You give me this one tree. He says, no. I'll give you trees in Jannah. You give me this tree. He says, no. Then the Prophet tells his companions, go and cut down the tree. Cut it down and throw it out. This is amal now. Now you have reached a stage where verbally nothing's happening. Now you cut down the tree and throw it out. That is the lower stage. But the higher stage now, where even those small actions don't work, is now where you give your life. If you look at Karbala, and you see why did Imam Hussein alayhi salam come out? He said, إِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ فِي أُمَّةِ جَدِّي أُرِيدُ أَنْ آمُرَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَأَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. This is my purpose. You go out and you fight till your last breath. This is Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And the third thing we have taken from this part of the khutbah is the beauty of the fadail of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. It's Hayf, 15 nights, no fadail of Imam Ali. Let's have a little bit of fadail of Amirul Mu'mineen tonight. He himself has told us, look at me, look at me. Do you know, one time when he was very young, Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, you know, Amirul Mu'mineen, even the Ahlus Sunnah, when they mention him, they say, Karramallahu wajhah. May Allah honor his face. Why? Because he never prostrated in front of any idol. One time, when he's a young boy, still at his house with his father and mother, Abu Talib alayhi salam and Fatima bint Asad were talking. Husband and wife are talking. And Abu Talib tells his wife Fatima, do you know something happened today? I saw Ali taking the idols and breaking them, but I hid it. I didn't want people to know. So she says, this is it. I can tell you something even more surprising. When he was in my womb, whenever I would pass by near an idol, he would kick me from inside the womb so hard that I would have to change my direction. I was not even allowed to pass near an idol. This is Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. And that is why when at one time Ma'mun was seated in his court and Imam al-Ridha salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, he's seated there, he says, Ya Abul Hasan, you Shia, you people, trying mockingly, he says, you say that Ali is Qasimul Jannati wan Nar. What is this? How do you get to that conclusion that he is Qasimul Jannati wan Nar? So the Imam said that, isn't it true that your own great-grandfather Abdullah ibn Abbas said, Hubbu Ali imanun wa bughdhuhu kufr? The love of Ali is iman and his hatred is kufr. So Ma'mun said, yes, yes, yes. So he said, that is how he becomes Qasimul Jannati wan Nar. Loving him is iman and hating him is kufr. So Ma'mun is satisfied, Ahsant is satisfied. When they go out, Abu Salt, one of the companions of Imam al-Ridha alayhi salam, says, Ya ibn Rasulillah, you gave a very beautiful answer, very nice answer. The Imam says, I gave him the answer that he could bear. But the reality is something quite different. The Holy Prophet told Imam Ali alayhi salam, Oh Ali, on the day of judgment, you will stand outside the gate of hellfire and you will say, this one is yours, this one is mine. This one is yours, this one is mine. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. This one is yours, this one is mine. He's going to literally be the Qasimul Jannati wan Nar. This is the state of Imam Ali alayhi salam. His fada'il are so great. We do not have the capacity even to mention the fada'il of Amir al-Mu'minin. Suffice it to say that wherever he would go, he would spread joy in the hearts of the people. He would spread joy and happiness. Of course, there were some few people who hated him, but the rest of the people, whenever he would go, he would spread happiness in his heart. And we are supposed to be Alawi. We are supposed to be followers of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. That is why one person said it very beautifully when he said, some people, they cause joy wherever they go, and some whenever they go. Do you understand? Some people, they cause joy wherever they go, and some whenever they go, meaning whenever they leave. That means some, wherever they go, people find it that they are causing joy, and some, when they leave, then the joy comes in the hearts. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. We pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to grant us the ability to be true Alawis, to be true people on the day of judgment, that Imam would accept us as one of his followers, insha'Allah ta'ala. May Allah grant us the ability to benefit from this beautiful month of Shahr Ramadan, the blessed month, so that we may become better people, insha'Allah. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة.